Check 1 2. Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Talk. I'm your host, King053, Mr. Easy Imali Eneng. And we're back at it again with another one. My goodness. We have a lot to talk about. Members of the Pan-African Parliament. Members of the Pan-African Parliament, please tune in. As you are tuning in, wipe your feet by telling us where you are watching us from. It's exactly 9:15. Today is I believe, the 25th of February. And we have a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot to discuss. As the Black community, we have a lot to unpack. And I want to say we have some introspections to make as a Pan-Africanist movement to say, what is the realistic expectations for the 2024 elections? There's been some good developments in the West, or not in the West, in the East of Africa when it comes to Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. There's been some progress that is being made in the war in Congo. There's been some interesting things happening in SADC. So we have a lot to talk about, my African brothers and sisters. We've got a lot to talk about. So as you are coming in, please click the like button. Make sure that you go in the comment section and tell me where you are watching me from. Tell me, members of the Pan-African Parliament, can you hear me? Am I audible? Am I visible? Can you guys see me? Is everything fine? Sound check, everything, guys. I don't have a sound engineer or anything like that. So I have to depend on you guys to know that this live stream is is doing what it's supposed to do. So you guys are my directors of the show. You guys are my audience on the show. You guys are my co-producers of the show. Make sure that you tell me if the sound is okay. Give me a thumbs up. Tell us where you guys are watching from so that we can start this very important meeting. Every Sunday we meet at 9 o'clock, a little bit late today. Every Sunday we meet 9 o'clock to have a discussion on how the week has gone. Utulane Dlamini. Tulane Dlamini. No, Tulane Dlamini is the other one of Gauteng. Yes. Tulane is a big brother fan from South Africa watching in Midrand. Thank you so much, Alex. Thank you so much. If the sound is okay, Tulane says the sound is clear also. Thank you so much. I'm mixing you, bro. Tulane. No, Tulane was a nail sprayed. I'm actually looking for him. He must get a T-shirt in March. So I'm looking for Utulane. He sent me an email. I replied, but he never sent me a WhatsApp. So at least I still have his email. So I will try to touch him. We have to speak about Umkhonto weSizwe, Peter Marisbeck. We have to speak about the ANC. Sound is clear, King. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Tate Malachi. We have to speak about how good the ANC is with organizing its logistics when it comes to moving people around and what that means, what that will mean for the 2024 elections. It's very important for us to understand, members of the Pan-Africanist podcast, that as much as we want to hate the ANC, or not necessarily using the word hate, but disagree with how the ANC is doing most of the things, it does not change the fact that elections is a numbers game. So with that numbers game, elections is logistic setup. King, looks like you're topping in the missing something. Topping, topping is missing something. Topping is missing something. My topping. What topping are you talking about, leadership? Uh, the logistics of organizing people when it comes to the election day cost a lot of money. Now think about this. You are a councillor who is in a specific ward anywhere in South Africa. Oh, your topic is missing something. Oh, topic, not to, topping. I was asking myself what topping, Mr. Homo. Okay, I'll try and fix the topic. I think I can't do anything when I'm already live. Let me see if I can fix that for you, leadership. Thank you for that one. I appreciate that one. I don't know. You guys know I'm very new on YouTube, so I don't know what to. I'll try to fix it with my other phone. Thank you so much. Greetings. Tell us where you are watching us from. My king, sorry for using your platform for advertising my company. My apology. No, you can't apologize for advertising your company. Feel free, African people. As long as you are African, advertise your business here. I don't mind if people see what they like and contact you because they saw your business here on King Said So. It's a blessing for me. That's what we do. That's what we advocate for, to connect Africans. So feel free. You are not changing the topics. Tebogo is watching us from Botswana. Oh, what a nice country. What a beautiful country. PTA is here. Dynamic is watching us from PTA. Ooh, I grew up um, most of my youth life in PTA. I was in Pretoria most of my watching you from Kwelika, Punga, Nomage, Nomageba. Thank you so much. What's happening right now? We are discussing a lot of. Jack Lero. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with my life. With my channel. Like every time I go live, and the channel is all about Pan Africanism. I get my fellow Dutch people here also. I don't know why. Then they start misbehaving on the comment section. Limpopo is in the house. Uh, Lepatala King, Lepatlalale, say, watching from Lepatlalale, and also Limpopo is in the house. Thank you. So, most of us who think we have some type of education and some type of information tend to disagree with how the ANC is operating right now. Most people, most people you meet in the street, they will tell you, you know, quality, my king. Thank you so much. Chosen one, always here from KwaZulu Natal, always here. So we disagree with how the ANC is doing things. Clearly, the ANC Cape Town is in the house. Thank you so much, Cape Town, for tuning in. Please make sure that you guys click the like button. It spreads the algorithm. It spreads the live streams to everyone who's on YouTube right now. It just makes it just notifies them that someone is live. Is someone considering African if they white South Africans? Is someone considered African if they no, 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 no? I'll answer that question in more depth. Pete is watching us from Pumalanga. My queen is here from Eastern Cape. Hi, King. Late today. Yes, we are a few minutes late today. My apologies for that. God, lost track of time. That's not a good sign. So we tend to disagree with how the ANC is doing things. But what other political parties like our EFF, like our Mkhonto weSizwe, like all the other political parties, the DA and whoever, what they don't understand is that the day of an election, it's a logistic day, meaning The councillor who's got money, the councillor who's got the supporting of a financial machine can easily move people from one end to another, from home to voting station back home easily. And we don't understand, some of us who've got matric or who've got grade 11, we think that everyone has got the pride that we have. You know, you tell people, you say, the ANC did a better job at KwaZulu Natal than the EFF. They say, ah, King, they moved people from all around the country. That is their strength. So what if they move people from Zimbabwe to Bombela Stadium? It doesn't matter. It is their strength. Their strength is in the budget. You cannot compete with 1,000 rand when I've got 1 million rand. You cannot compete with me. I can just buy people. You understand what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? It is unfortunately the politics of South Africa. People can be bought. People are bought. That is the reality of South African politics. Whether you and I agree with that or not, it's a debate for another day. But what the ANC is going to do, and the ANC is doing, is that on election day, you're going to promise people, they already Sangoba rally that will be happening in FNB Stadium, or Singobile rally that will happen in the FNB Stadium. They're already planning that one. Artists are already booked for that event, and people are already organizing accommodation and everything there. They're going to FNB for Siangoba, what you call really. I'm just checking it out here so that I don't give you guys the wrong information. You know, yeah, Siangoba really in FNB. So the ANC is saying the next stop is Siangoba. You and I might not agree with what they are doing there, but honestly speaking, that is what is happening in politics. People are being bought with t-shirts, KFCs, 2 liters, caps, and transportation. And the way ANC works, it works on a marketing strategy. For some of us who have studied marketing, we know for every for every 9 clients you pitch, maybe 3 of them will be maybes, and two of them you can close. So they are working on a ratio that if we can get 10 people to the election center, probably from those 10 people, 5 will vote for us. The others is fine, they can vote for other people, but we are working on these 5 that will vote for us. They are working on the number system. It's a very well-oiled machine of the ANC. It says, my king, I don't want to change the topic tonight, but what happened to advocate therefore is very unfair. System is corrupt and core. Actually, we need to vote ANC out. No, you're not changing the topic. Feel free to speak about whatever you want on the comment section. And let me answer that first comment. The first question that the person asked is why people in South Africa considered Africans. The answer is no. I don't know why we Africans are confused about this. We have answered this question 1 million times. 100% no. A Dutch person cannot consider themselves an African. They will never be an African. They can be born here all they want. They will never be African, ever. And deep down in their heart, they know what makes them have the anger that they have is because they can't go back home. It's been so many generations later that they have lost connection with their roots. So they don't see any other place as home besides Africa, especially those in South Africa, the Dutch people in South Africa. They can't go back home. They can't. Where is home for them? But what they are definitely sure about is that they are not from Africa. They know that. We don't need to be, it's not a racist statement, it's a factual statement. It's a factual statement. I can take my wife and I take her to Irish. I can take my wife to Greenland. I can take my wife to China and have children there. The roots of those children will always be African. It doesn't matter if my children's children are born in China and the 7 generations after me are born there, but their roots will always be in South Africa. So therefore, advocate and Judge John Klope, Busisiwe Mkhobane, just to name a few, if they go against the system, they are going to be dealt with. The system is not fair. I'm actually going to cover that with what Julius Malema said, not Julius Malema, Jacob Zuma said in Peter Marisburg, that we are busy following the Roman Dutch law and we are Africans. We should have a constitution that is derived from African rules, norms, and customs, African law. But we Africans don't take ourselves serious. That's why you see that really we are so relaxed in speaking English, we are so relaxed in speaking Portuguese, French, and Italian, and all of this rubbish language that we are speaking, because we don't see a reason why we must change this English language. It is a convenience for us to speak in English. It makes me sick, I'm telling you, every day speaking this colonizer language. What we saw in Durban, the chosen one is saying, is embarrassing. Be careful, 29 will surprise you, my Pan-Africanist. I saw people going to the beach. You know, I mean, KZN people are not going to go to a rally manifesto, then go to the beach. They stay at the beach. So it's only people who stay inland that will be excited about seeing the beach. I heard some people got in car accident and passed away, about 9 people. I saw even today there's people that are still sleeping in the streets because the buses left them there in um, in KwaZulu Natal. So I don't see. It's very hateful to see things like that. But what I will tell you for sure, what I know is that these people don't listen. These people don't listen. The next bus that is available that will be going to FMB, they will be in that bus. They will be in that bus. And someone wrote on the comment section, said, King, I was there. They gave us 300 rand and they gave us food and everything, but I'm not going to vote for them. They know not everyone is going to vote for them, but there is a few that is going to vote for them. There is a few that is going to vote for them. Do you think every person should have an equal vote, even though politically and illiterate and prone on being influenced by miscellaneous criminals like the ANC? Yes, everyone should have an equal vote. One vote should mean one mark. I think that is only the fair system that is there in a democratic world. This is not a world where we are rightfully ruled by kings, where the king's word goes and nobody can challenge what the king said. A democratic country that we have adopted now. Whether you've got no metric and I have an honors degree, and when we go vote, our vote are equal. It's equals to one vote. So yeah, I think I think everyone should have a in the current system that we are using. Yeah, it should be like that, because if you had to change it and say, listen, the people who are working, let them vote for different cause, vote for what is influencing and impacting them at work, and those who are not working, let them vote for which policies they can adopt that can create jobs. It will be a very mixed masala thing, if I can say. So yeah, one vote, one person. That's what we introduced in 1994, where our former president, Nelson Mandela, or is Jacob Zuma in my heart like this today? I hope the old man is okay. Said, because the apartheid government did not want one vote, one man. They did not want it because they knew the numbers will kill them. But that's what Nelson Mandela fought for, and I believe in the negotiations. That's the only thing he won for us. That's the only thing that we can vote these people out. The look we have that has been wait for King 053, not with threats, kind of like we are shy, bo, bo, yeah, yes, yeah, the look, eh? Must I bring the dreadlocks back? Can bring the dreadlock back actually. I like the dreadlocks. The Smolanyana dreadlocks. So my Pan-Africanist brothers and sisters, we've got an interesting election period that is coming this year. Our condolence to the families of those who have passed during the bus incident on their way back home to Mpumalanga this morning. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's heartbreaking, man. It's heartbreaking. You know, uh, yeah, about I got the number 9 people. You guys know I don't have TV, so I'm not sure. What I get is what I get from social media and all of that, and most of times it's not accurate. The most accurate source of information I have is YouTube. I don't have TV. I don't watch TV. I'm not worried about what the hell is going on in the world around me because I have seen that it decolonizes. It it takes our mind away from Pan-Africanism. It distracts us. That's the word I'm looking for. It distracts us from what we need to do as Africans. This TV watching rubbish habit that we have, you know. And luckily, I grew up with a mother that always did not want us in TV. She would say, "Listen, you're watching TV. Those people in TV are working. You're busy watching them. You're not doing your homework." So we used to think that the people in the TV are working, so we need to do our work wherever we need to work. But it is not because of that that I stopped watching TV in 2000 and was it 2021, 2022, where I stopped. I just said, nah, I'm not going to. It was very difficult decision to do that because you are so used to watching your sports and everything on DSTV, because DSTV has monopolized the entertainment world. They choose which sports can play at SABC. They've got the rights for almost everything. And what you want, Rupert, not Rupert. Who, what's the guy who owns? Yeah, Rupert owns DSTV. So they own everything. They own everything. They've bought a lot of archives from the SABC. They sold some back to them at triple the amount. They bought everything so that the SABC cannot compete with them. You know, and the SABC is the main source of many South Africans. So um, that is very heart breaking. So Uplar says television stands for tell live vision. Tell live vision. Now I think I'm in the wrong platform. Just don't agree with the fact that whose money they are using. They are not having money to pay their employees. Jiggy jiggy, they can organize a wow rally. You know what you are saying, August. It's crazy. It's crazy. Who we know the Oppenheimers. You guys know the Oppenheimers are funding the ANC, right? So you guys were crying about the Oppenheimers giving what is their name? Rise Mzansi 50 million. They probably gave the ANC more than that. Because there's a video I'm going to make after this, is that white people should rather vote for the ANC and leave the DA alone. If I was a white person, especially a white person who is rich, a white person who's got businesses and own mines and agricultural land and everything, if I was a white person, I would vote for the ANC. The reason being, the ANC is not disturbing those people. The ANC is protecting those people's rights. I went to the Department of Education to go and register our school, the Pan-African School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture, PASETA. And guess what? The form that I got from the department is written in 2 languages. You already know which those languages are. English and Afrikaans. So being a Pan-Africanist that I am, I said, listen, can I have a form that is written in English and Tswana? They don't have. But they have a form that is written in English and Afrikaans. Afrikaans is protected like nobody's business. English is protected like nobody's business. The same ANC that had problems at Lutile House with people not getting paid their salaries December and January. They've got so much money for these activities, organizing these events. It's millions of rands to get these buses and get it. Just imagine how many KFCs you have to buy for all of those people. Never mind KFCs, bottle of water. Bottle of water. The DA will win what? Don't get lost on my channel, post and start commenting rubbish. The white people should vote for the ANC. The ANC is better than the DA when it comes to protecting the privilege, white privilege. The ANC is better than the DA. 30 years, the ANC never took anybody's land. 30 years, the ANC never took the Africans out of schools. 30 years, the ANC never touched the minerals and the mines. 30 years. 30 years. You know, a 30-year-old person is a young adult. They never touched anything. And it's not like they were clueless, they were still getting their feet. The people, the first governments, the ANC and the ANC of Nelson Mandela and the ANC of Thabo Mbeki, those were very educated people. It's not like they were finding their feet. They were not finding their feet. They knew what to do, but they simply did not do it. African language has few abstract words. How do you know, Mr. Orange? How do you know? How do you know? How do you know? How do you know? That is why, as a Pan-Africanist podcast, as a Pan-Africanist channel, we say Africans, every African person must be able to speak Kiswahili. Every person. Kiswahili is more advanced than English. Kiswahili is more advanced than Afrikaans, more advanced, older than those 2 languages. Numbers, symbols, and letters, a very advanced language. There is no word you can find in English that you can't find in Kiswahili. Okay? The ANC won't win the elections. Mark my words. People went there for vacation. Look at Ramaphosa was speaking. The stadium was almost empty. EFF and MK might surprise us. The stadium was not empty. Mbutuma, don't say that. Mapena, don't say that. The stadium was not. The stadium was not empty. The stadium was very full. The stadium was very full. So, King, how far is the case between the EFF and the ELF and the ANC and Mkhonto Wesizwe? The EFF and the ELF, the case is now with the IEC. The courts have given the IEC to make the determination, not the determination, the recommendation to the courts to tell them, is those logos really the same? So they're waiting for because the courts did say the logos are similar, but the ELF then appealed. As you know, in South Africa, you can appeal anything. Appealed the decision, and the decision was then sent to the IEC for a review and a recommendation. I'm not sure what is going on with MK, and they're very silent about that. I'm not sure what is going on in that regard of Mkhonto Wesizwe and the ANC. You know, looks like the ANC is not fighting that much, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't want to lie about that one. No. What about the money? All these billions. You're not gonna compete with the ANC when it comes to what you call campaigning. I, you just can't compete with these people. All those billions. Why do you seek to force other cultures upon Africans on other cultures? What are you talking about? Did you hear me saying I want to force anyone on any culture? The only cultures that were forced on us is English, the Dutch. The only cultures that were forced upon us was, Afrikaans, the Dutch, and the British. Those are the cultures that were forced upon us. If I'm teaching you an African language, if I'm teaching you to say habari, mimi na king, nina furaha kukutana na wewe. If I'm teaching you Kiswahili, I'm not forcing you to learn a foreign language. I'm teaching you to learn African language. You cannot be proud of speaking a rubbish language like English, and then when we teach you Kiswahili, you say we are forcing you. We are not forcing you anything. You know, not Haura, Shishona, Mbichana, Mbichana. It is you who must speak all of these languages. It is your languages as an African. Nobody must force you. And nobody says you must leave Pedi and become a Swahili person. No. We're saying Swahili is a more advantageous language to study in. You can study technology in Swahili. You can study science in Swahili. You can study English in Kiswahili. I mean, not English, mathematics in Kiswahili. So we are saying it is more advantage to rather have one language as an African nation. Understand? I was speaking about people who compare South Africa to China. I said that is the most useless thing you can ever do. You can't compare South Africa to China because South Africa has only 66 million people. China has got 1.4 billion people. So you think of, when you think China, you think of a small country. It's not a small country. 1.4 billion people. You can't compare it with your country. You can compare China to Africa. Yes, that you can do. As long as Africa gets rid of the borders that were given to us by the Berlin Conference in 1884, November to 1885, February. If you can get rid of the borders, those borders that were drawn by our colonizers, then you can compare South Africa to China and South Africa to India. But as long as we are not united as Africans, you cannot compare us to those nations. You understand? So we must, as Africans, make sure that we unite behind one currency, we unite behind one president, we unite behind one parliament, we unite behind one language, we unite behind, especially the most important one army. We have to have one army in Africa. No rebels will ever become problematic again when Africa has got a single army. Excuse me. That's full of... Yeah, I was full of free t-shirt, Duplessis. Okay. No, hey, these people are always here. Yeah. I don't know what these white people are doing on my. You really white people, yeah, jealous no lief for me. Jealous altijd hier no. Julle skryf altyd rubbish op die comment section. Maar ek lees dit maar. Wat kan ek sê? Wat kan ek sê? Julle klomp dom mense, but that's all right. Skryf daar. As long as we stay respectful. Like this one was swearing at me, says, you are crazy. You believe that the ANC is doing a good job. Everything is failing. The economy is a joke. Electricity is a joke. The water situation is a joke. There, yeah, for the electricity, we have you white people to thank for. It is you people who put the pressure on the ANC, and it employed a white person to go and become a CEO of Eskom. Andre the Reiter is the man that killed Eskom. You understand what I'm saying? Andre the Reiter is the man that killed Eskom. So for the electricity part, we have Andre the Rate to thank for. And electricity makes the whole economy work. It's Andre the Rate that killed our economy. It is him who killed our economy. He found a functional Eskom. When he left, he broke the whole thing down. So don't tell me about the ANC killing the electricity thing. The biggest mistake that Cyril Ramaphosa did, because he's always kissing on white monopoly S, was employing a white man to go and become a CEO of Eskom. So nonsense pratini. That's it. How can we stop load shedding? You bring back Brian Molefe. Simple. You bring back the people that were running the Eskom very well. You bring back the people who are running. You call them corrupt. We call them efficient. They were efficient in their job. You don't want it. So what if there's corruption at Eskom? When there is a tender system, there's always going to be someone who's beating the system and trying to benefit from it. That is the nature of humans. Whether they are white, black, what, you go to America, you find the same thing. You go to Italy, you find the same thing. There's always going to be people that are going to try to beat the system to optimize their profit. But the issue is, if Eskom is working, do you, me and you, do we care if people are stealing? I don't care. Those who steal must be arrested and whatever, but as long as my lights are on, I'm okay. You understand what I'm saying? That is how you fix Eskom. You go and beg Brian Molefe to go back to Eskom. And you open a case against that Tsotsi, Andre the Rate, who said 1 trillion was being stolen every month out of Eskom. That guy must come back and tell us, how is it when he was the CEO and he was the one who was signing all the tender documents, he was the one who was signing the supply chain process. How did 1 trillion get stolen from Eskom each and every month? We want to know. So do you believe the ANC is a good party to rule South Africa? Absolutely not. Not for black people. For white people, yes. White people are enjoying what the ANC is doing. They don't understand what it means for the EFF to win. For them, they don't understand it. That's why they are, they are complaining about electricity. And the people who are complaining about electricity and all of that is poor white people. The rich white people don't care. They are happy with the ANC. Like I said, the ANC, you never had the ANC taking any mine to court for labor, people dying in the mines. Things are happening in the mines there. But our comrades have got shares in these mines. That's why they are mute. You understand what I'm saying? People born in 2007 think load shedding is normal. They must say something on how ANC handles stuff. Yeah, well, we have Andre the Rate to thank for that, not the ANC. When Andre the Rate came, we did have load shedding, yes, but it was not every week, it was not every month, it was not stage 6. We were introduced to stage 6 by Andre the Rate. We didn't know what the hell the stage 6 was up until Andre the Rate was employed. Nobody knew what the hell the stage 6 was. Brian Molefe and them, they did a great job. The whole South Africa is a circus. I'm sure you are a circus. Listen to this one. Afrikaans is an African language. Afrikaans is not an African language. The Dutch language is closely related to Afrikaans. The people of the Dutch came here already speaking the Dutch. The Afrikaans language was only diluted by the indigenous languages here in South Africa. So you'll find Libikiri, then in Afrikaans you will say a beker. So there was some language, there was some words stolen and changed by the Dutch people to better suit their language here in Africa. You hear people saying Afrikaans is the youngest language in Africa, but it's not true. When you speak Afrikaans as you're speaking it to the Dutch people, they understand you very well. If it was an African language, they were not going to understand you, like they don't understand any other African language. So stop talking nonsense. Afrikaans is not an African language. It will never be an African language. Afrikaners will never be Africans. They know this themselves. Tell the people, the poor people, about the fact that Xhosa, Zulu, and other tribes come from the north. Who told you that? What are white people doing on my comment section? Go dim. Now I have to entertain all of this rubbish that they are writing. And you guys know I'm a very, what you call, patient person and tolerant person who try to educate, because sometimes I told you guys, sometimes white people, they show their evilness in their comments. You understand? You hear comments like the Khoisan people, the Khoi and the San people owned South Africa. Like, what nonsense are you talking about? The Khoisan people never landed a foot in Limpopo. Never. And when you study the origin of people, you actually see that they started from the north going to the south, not from, I mean, from the south going to the north, and not from the north going to the south. Why are we saying that? The oldest pyramids that were broken down into small pieces are here in South Africa. Google that. The oldest man-made calendar in the world is found here in South Africa, in Mpumalanga. Google that. People think that the tribes moved from the north to the south. That is what our colonizers want us to believe. We cannot believe a story that is told by our colonizers. We as Africans moved in Africa freely because there was no borders. Freely, we saw Africa as one land. They came and gave us borders, and then now they want to tell us those people come from here and those people come from there. They can go to hell, man. They can go to hell. I agree with Howard. If one checks out the count of any African language, including Afrikaans and English, the Oxford Dictionary, you will find that English has 10 times words count. I don't know what you're saying. They tell us promises. I want to read my African brothers' comments. I don't have time for Labantu Lavazos Moshe. King, I kicked out in 2012 in an interview because I was responding to the questions with language which was paid in correction to service P. Yeah, they will discriminate you. African people will discriminate you speaking your language in an interview. African people. What is this? But Xhosa is also an African language. Stop entertaining these people, my African brothers and sisters. You see, I don't know what these people are. I don't know where these people are coming from on my comment sections. Say, stop talking about colonization. Go back where you are coming from so that we can stop talking about colonization, because those who colonized us never left our land. Those who colonized us took our religion. Those who colonized us robbed us from our spirituality. Those who colonized us made sure that they excuse me guys, I'm just changing the lights here. Sorry for that. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. My apologies for that. I'm going to